Okay, here in example 4, we want to convert degrees to radians. So when we look at a circle, that's 360 degrees, so half a circle would be 180 degrees, right? Well, that's also equal to pi radians. Let me rewrite that, pi radians. So we have 2 degrees of measure. We can do in degrees, and then another way to measure an angle other than degrees is radians. And radians have to do with how far the arc length is. When the arc length distance, when this distance around a circle, which is called the arc length, is equal to the radius length. And that, when those are the same, that is called 1 radian or 1 rad. Okay, so we have radians, a way to measure, and degrees. So if I want to go ahead and figure out how many radians are in 1 degree, I would just divide this by 180. So that means pi over 180 would be equal to, pi over 180 would be equal to 1 degree. So if I want to convert negative 100 degrees into radians, I would just take each degree and multiply it by pi over 180. Same thing as like if you wanted to turn inches into feet, right? So in 1 foot equals 12 inches, right? So if I have 13 feet, I want to say how many inches right there. I just multiply that by 12. Same thing here. I have degrees. I just want to multiply by pi over 180. And so my degrees will cancel there. And then all I'm doing is just simplifying this 100 divided by 180 and then timesing it by pi, right? So really I'm just taking 100 and dividing it by 180. I'm going to get negative though because I have negative 100. And then I'm just going to multiply that by pi, right? So I can just reduce that fraction, right? I can take out a 0 to begin with. So then I just have 10 over 18 pi. And then I can divide that by 2 and I get 5 over 9 pi. So 5/9 pi. So that would be my answer, is 5/9 pi radians. And that's how I convert. Okay, and then going the other way. This is from here to here would be 180 degrees, which is the same as pi over equals pi radians. So if I divide by pi on both sides, then I get 1 radian, or 1 rad, is equal to 180 over pi. So then if I want to convert this radians, anytime there's not a degree symbol, it is in radians, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to have the pi symbol to be radians. It could just be 11 over 4. So anytime you don't have the degree symbol, then you don't have degrees. You have radians. Okay, so if I want to convert this, all I have to do is take 11 pi over 4 and times that by 180 over pi. So here the pi's will cancel. 4 and 180 will reduce, right? Because I can reduce those both by 2. I get 90 over 2. And I can reduce 90 and 2 to 45, right? So I just have 11 times 45. So 11 times 45, I can just go ahead and multiply that. And that's 495. So that's 495. So 495 degrees. Okay, and that's how I convert. So from radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. Okay, and then from degrees to radians, we multiply by pi radians over 180. Okay, last one, finding arc length. So here's my equation for arc length, which I kind of already talked about a little bit in this video. So if I want to find the diameter of a traffic circle is 160 feet, how far does the car travel in a roundabout if it goes 3/4 of the way there? Okay, so I want to figure out what is my S, which stands for arc length, R, which stands for radius, and theta, which stands for our angle measure. Okay, so if I'm on a traffic circle and I go all the way 3/4 around, I'm right here. So this would be 90, this would be 180, and this would be 270. Okay, and our angle always needs to be in radians. So I got to convert this, right? So 270, I got to turn 270 and I got to times that by pi over 180. Well, the zeros can cancel, so I get 27 over 18, which is both go into 9, 3 times and 2 times. So I get 3 pi fourths. So 270 degrees equals 3 pi, 3 pi halves, sorry, 3 pi halves. Okay, so there's my angle. So I want to multiply by my radius. Well, my radius, they say the diameter of 160, so that means my radius would equal 80. So I'm going to take 80 and multiply that by 3 pi over 2. So 80 and 2 will cancel, right, to 40. And 40 times 3 is just like 4 times 3 and add a 0. Still got pi on there. So 120 pi. And then I can get on my calculator and type in 120 and multiply that by pi. Find the pi button on your calculator, which is above the divide. You just got to hit second first. And so 376. So about 377. I think we're in feet. So that's how far we would travel approximately. Okay, so that is it for chapter 1, these 2 videos.